So if you have to ask me which game I was looking forward to the most this year, it would definitely be Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. And after many hours of playtime, I have reached a verdict. This is a good game. It's not terrible, but it's not a masterpiece. It's just good. So thank you for watching this review, and I'll catch you all next time for my next review, which will be Shrek 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Somebody once told me the Okay, I should probably give out a lot more of my thoughts than that. Man, the day that CTR Nitro Fueled finally came out in stores, my reaction was through the roof. I must have spent all day for a good number of hours playing through this game and reliving my childhood. Going through adventure mode, time trials, playing the tracks from Nitro Kart, and playing online. Not only that, but also checking out the pit stop, and trust me, I'll get to that later. I have had a fantastic time playing through Nitro Fueled, and seeing this PlayStation 1 classic remade from the ground up being turned into something beautiful is really awesome. But however, before the game's release and playing Crash Team Racing on PlayStation 4, I knew that this game would not live up to the quality of the OG. Crash Team Racing on PlayStation 1 is arguably the best kart racing game of all time, hands down. There's literally little to no flaws about that game, and the remake has quite a lot of holes to fill if it wants to be just as better as the original. And you know, hindsight is a very funny thing, because it turns out that 2 months after the release, I was right. Does it mean that this is a bad game? Of course not. I love playing this game time after time, and I do always give out compliments to any game I come across. But if I see something I don't like, then I'm not afraid to give out some negative criticism. We get treated to the opening before reaching to the main menu, and already I'm super pumped. A nice little introduction with some small tweaks, having the narrator saying Beanox's name instead of Naughty Dog. And after agreeing to some terms and conditions for whatever strange reason, we make it to the main menu. And everything you know and love about Crash Team Racing is here. Time trials, battle arenas, and cup tournaments to name a few. And not forgetting to mention that all the tracks and battle arenas from Crash Nitro Kart are here as well. That is pretty goddamn awesome. So with that said, let's start off with the adventure mode. The introduction hits the nostalgia feelings very hard for me, and it's getting me excited to relive my childhood once again. Although this time around, Nitrous Oxide's monologue has changed, but I think it is for the better, as you don't want to stir any conflict with parents when their kids are playing Nitro Fueled.
But if I win, I will turn your entire globe into a concrete parking lot and make you my minions.
And plus, I love it when Oxide is talking, Crash is getting bored and wants to have a sleep. Everything you know and love is here. Races, crystal challenges, relics, tokens, boss races, and hub worlds to explore. It feels like I'm replaying this all over again for the very first time. You can either start off with classic mode, playing adventure mode just like the PlayStation 1 days, or you can play it in Nitro Fueled mode. What that means is throughout adventure mode, you can switch up the gameplay by changing characters, cards, what color they wear, and adding stickers. It's cool that you can switch the characters up whenever you please, just to make sure that you can find a character that fits your style to keep on winning races. Because every track is different, and using the same character is not ideal, as your character doesn't fit the track well. And I think the character customization was one of the game's biggest advertisements, right next to online. Being able to fully customize your kart sounds very cool, but after going through them, I'm kinda mixed about them. I really like it that you can customize your car to your style and show it off with everyone online, but in adventure mode, no matter what race you go on, you'll see everyone wearing different attires. It might just be me that feels about this, but I do prefer characters with their regular clothes. I'm fine with it in online mode, but having it in adventure mode, it seems a bit unbalanced and untidy. But anyway, I bought Nitro Fueled for the gameplay, and oh my days. I think I'm going to take a quote about what I felt about the Spyro Reignited trilogy and apply it here.
This game looks so fucking beautiful!
And it does! The amount of details that have been added in Nitro Fueled is amazing. A statue of a character to show that this is their track, different ideas of the startup races, the shades of bright colors, the smokes in the back of the cart. I can go forever about this. The racetracks of CTR has been faithfully remade into something great. Hot Air Skyway is still my favorite racetrack, Roost Tubes looks so cool and underwater, and even though there's some mixed reactions to Sewer Speedway, but I can still beat races by a mile. Oxide Station comes very close to being my favorite track in Nitro Fueled, just because when you head outside the station, the music gets lower and it makes you feel like you're in space. But having said that, what about the Crash Nitro Kart racetracks?
Hey, G-Sauce! Crackers here. So you know how I said about the Crash Nitro Fueled tracks is pretty goddamn awesome in Nitro Fueled, and I still think it is, but I feel that the execution-wise, it's not what I expected.
First off, they got rid of the anti-gravity sections, which I'm very pleased about it, because I wasn't a big of a fan of driving in anti-gravity, similar to Mario Kart, and the controls always felt slippery back then. But this does create one small problem for me, and that is some of the features that made the tracks memorable have been altered or completely removed. Biggest example I can think of is Out in Time. In the original, you can drive around a giant clock while in anti-gravity. That was one of my memorable moments I remember playing Nitro Kart growing up. But now, it's completely changed. Some of them does look okay, but you can tell that some of the others kind of feels like they've been added in at the last minute. Almost rushed, in another word. And secondly, there is no adventure mode for Crash Nitro Kart, and I do think that's pretty disappointing, because you basically do have the tracks, the music, the battle arenas, the cups, and even the CTR tokens and the relics. They easily could have just added it in, as a reward for completing Crash Team Racing's campaign for 100%. And without Nitro Kart's adventure mode, those tracks really don't have a purpose being here in this game, except for online multiplayer. As soon as I started playing online with one of the Crash Nitro Kart racetracks, I honestly forgot they were in the game. Maybe they'll add the adventure mode in as a DLC in the future, I don't know. But does that mean that the Crash Nitro Kart racetracks are bad? No. I will easily take the remade Nitro Kart tracks rather than the original ones any day of the week. The C and K tracks in Nitro Fueled are really good, despite a couple of nitpicks I mentioned, and I think that's because of the controls in this game. This is exactly what Nitro Kart should have been. Combining the controls of Crash Team Racing with Nitro Kart's racetracks, you get a totally different ballgame. The controls are responsive and really easy to handle. None of the R2 to accelerate crap, just the good old classic controls. To any veteran players, it will take a while to adjust the settings of what Nitro Fueled offers, but once you get used to it, you'll be drifting those turns and taking those shortcuts like a boss. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel that Nitro Fueled is more faster than the original, because I find myself hitting the brakes in certain areas that I normally wouldn't use the brake button. Speaking of feeling more faster, the AI seems to be more competitive, which, don't get me wrong, I like a good challenge. There were quite a few close calls when it comes to winning a race. Even a medium difficulty can provide you to be more focused on your TV screen. The boosting in this game is wow. If you think that you can go fast in the original, then Nitro Fueled will say, hold my beer. The boosting here is so much more faster. The more successful you are with your time to boost, the more speed you'll obtain. There are many ways this game lets you know when it's time to boost. From the smokers turning dark, the wheels shining bright, and the brighter they are, the greater the boost, and of course, the boost meters. They brought the boost meters from CTR and CNK in this game, which is cool, and they added in their own version of a boost meter. It is more easier to follow as there are certain points in the boost meter. The middle is good, but the closer you get to it is great. And has anyone heard of this word in CTR called Ultimate Sacred Fire? I just found that out from an episode of Square Eye Jack. Well, for those who don't know, what that means is that if you get enough boost to make your smokers turn blue, then you get to go really fast. You can do this in the original, and as for Nitro Fueled, because the game feels more quicker, once you obtained Ultimate Sacred Fire, the amount of speed is insane. I'm never gonna stop using that. Here's just an example of what Ultimate Sacred Fire is all about. You'll be driving around so quickly around each turn that you'll have to think ahead and try not to brush up on the sides. It's like you have little to no control over this. I'm still pretty much going through the track like a missile right now. This is absolutely crazy, and at the same time, very satisfying once you've triggered Ultimate Sacred Fire.
What's cool as well is you can not only play the characters from Crash Team Racing, but Nitro Kart as well. Hell, even the newly characters from the Grand Prix to top it all off. If you want to play as a dinosaur, now you can. If you want to play as Sonic the Hedgehog, now you can. This is much more better than a CGI version, by the way. And if you want to play as... Oh. That's interesting. I didn't know you could play as Shrek.
Somebody wants... The soundtrack has no complaints for me, and I think you already know that the soundtrack is really good. Of course you can change the music type from Nitro Fueled to Classic, but again, like Spyro Reignited Trilogy, why would you? Because the music here is just as good as the original. The shortcuts are here as well, and as always, they are great to execute. However, I have noticed that some shortcuts didn't make the cut. The number of tricks you can do in the original is so satisfying to perform, and it does suck that the shortcuts you can do in the original you can't perform in Nitro Fueled. Some of them are glitches anyway, but still. The bosses now have intros and outros, and it's so cool that Beenox added it in, as it gives the dialogue much more life. They'll come right at your face taunting you if you're even worth facing Oxide for the fate of the planet. As for the boss race, it's exactly what you'll expect. Nothing noteworthy to talk about. They're just the same bosses you know from the original. Like I said, you can unlock a lot of characters, and that includes Nitrous Oxide. Not only that, but you can unlock the hover carts. Finally, after many years of waiting, you can finally drive around in Oxide's cart. I was expecting it to be bigger, mainly because I'm so used to the original, but it's still very cool that Beenox added this in. And now, this brings us to the online mode. One of the things I was really keen on is playing CTR once again, but playing it online. Many people have claimed that they are the absolute best of the best, and now, all the trash talking and all the arrogant egos gets tested to truly find out who really is the best CTR player. Of course, I have demonstrated before that I am a veteran and showing everyone what it takes to be one. Okay, I'm being sarcastic.
Like I said, it's not about winning, it's about having fun. And I think that's what we... I fucking hate this!
It's really fun to play online once you're in a full lobby. Sometimes the lobby changes from having a full lobby to just having one person, but that's okay. Because even if you're racing with one person, the rest will be filled up with AI characters, so it won't make the online experience lonely. The online is good, but it's not perfect by any means. There are only two options to play, race or battle. That's it. Why not add in cup tournaments? That would be pretty fun. Again, maybe they'll add it in the future, but we'll just wait and see. Every now and then, for whatever reason, the game will just kick everyone out. It's really annoying, and I hope they do fix this issue. And hey, what do you know? By the time the game came out in stores, they already released the first patch update day 1. That just shows how much Beenox actually cares about this game and wants it to succeed. And as for the battle modes, I haven't even played the mode online before because no one is even on there. It is a bit of a shame that I don't see much people in battle mode because the battle modes are really fun and it fits the concept of online challenge. And now, this brings us to the pit stop. You'll see different items to buy, and for every 24 hours they disappear and new items will make their place. I would actually like it if they had a search button so you can look up for what item you really want instead of waiting for the item to appear. And for every time you earn Wumpa coins, you can head over to the pit stop and purchase characters, costumes, cards, and stickers. You earn Wumpa coins by just playing the game. And that is a good way to unlock everything without using real money.
That's what I would be saying right now until they done it. The fuckers actually did it. Activision had the balls to include microtransactions. Hey, cheese sauce, Crackers here once again. What the fuck, Activision?
This is such a big middle finger to anyone who's played this game. I know you only earn so little coins, but come on. What are you doing to my orange fluffy boy? Okay, I understand why they added it in, and I know some people out there don't mind microtransactions, but for me personally, I prefer unlocking content not by spending real money, but just playing the game. And playing the game and going through unlocking stuff is so much more rewarding. What's also a huge piss take is they added it in around 2 months after the release. Say what you want about Call of Duty and the amount of microtransactions built in, but at least they were there on day 1. But in Nitro Fueled, this was a desperate attempt from Activision's part that they need the money. And because they know that you love Crash Bandicoot, you'll most likely buy into the system. And if I know what this is going towards, Crash Team Racing will turn into a huge online marketing scam filled with even more costumes and more cards and more stuff that you want, raising the Wumpa coins even higher than before, and the best way to get the items is spending your hard-earned real cash.
I'm somewhat a little bit concerned and scared for Nitro Fueled and for its future if I know what is going to happen. What sucks as well is that if you don't have online, you don't get any of the unlockable characters in the pit stop, and that includes the Nitro card characters. You know, I never thought I would say this, but Gaming Critic, what do you think of all this? Hey, wait a second. Don't tell me you're gonna do your introduction again. Hello, my name is the Gaming Critic. I review video games with no regrets whatsoever. You know what happens? Huh? Well, you know what happens when Activision tries to fuck over one of my childhood games with microtransactions and pay to win? You know what happens? Activision?
You just made the list!
You know, I think I finally understand why I got rid of the gaming critic in the first place.
Okay, so what do I really think about CTR Nitro Fueled? Like I said from the very start, it's not terrible, but it's nowhere near a masterpiece. Beanox did a wonderful job recreating my childhood game and turning it into a nice trip down memory lane. The cutscenes are nicely created, the gameplay feels more faster, the boosting is insane, there's just a whole lot of good here. The biggest complaint I have about the game as a whole is the pit stop and the state that it's in. I think this game would be much more better off without the pit stop, so you can unlock items by playing the game and completing challenges, and show everyone out there that there is a lot more greater way to unlock stuff than spending real cash. I do hope that they can add in the Nitro Kart Adventure mode because you already have everything, you just need a few cutscenes and some hub worlds. My mind was questioning back and forth if this game is the best way to experience CTR, and honestly, I still haven't figured it out. Both the original and the remake are good in their own unique way, and they all have their own faults. Maybe later down the line, I'll make a revisit episode like I did with the Sane Trilogy last year, and hopefully by then, I will have my overall thoughts. But for now, let's embrace this beautiful remake without worrying about Activision and their scam.
You know, after playing Nitro Fueled, I think I'm gonna keep a close eye onto its future and the potential remakes as well. Having said that, I'm really looking forward to be playing Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated once again. Ugh. Man, you know, all this talking about Crash Bandicoot, Activision and all that, it's gotten me a little bit tired, so I'm probably gonna take a nap. And while I'm having my nap, I can think about all the potential remakes for the future. Like Shrek 2!
Somebody.
Nah, that joke is getting way too old now. Oh, you have got to be shitting me!